Sorry about the bumpy start, folks. Jeepers, it never stops, does it? All right, let's have a look over here. See if I can get this show up and running. Hello, Ivona. Sorry about all the crashing over here. It's just overload, you know. Technology and all that. Hello, Necessary. Yeah, it looks like things have stabilized. I had to do a lot of juggling with the softwares and reboots and everything, but seems like we're more or less holding up. So this is actually Sunday night tarot readings mini show for folks who are interested. And in case there are viewers out there who have stumbled on this little channel, I'll just point out that if we do these little mini readings by donation over here. You can go to TarotLumination.com, you press the donate button, and it's just like online shopping, okay? And so that's how that works. Over here tonight we have ongoing astrology that has been with us a long time, and it's going to still be with us for a long time. And that's this big fat triangle over here, the big fat trine between Pluto and Uranus, forget the signs, the nice beautiful sextiles between Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune, forget the signs, beautiful sextile over here between Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn, forget the signs. It's in this case, because everything's on the cusp, it's very hard to get clarity and definition of which is it. So there's a lot of decision making, and it's very difficult to say in very simple absolute terms, oh, this is how things are, okay? So it's just very beautiful energy. It's very powerful. It's still going to be here for the early part of next year. But after that, all of this sacred geometry is going to break up, and it's going to look a lot more random and chaotic. But right now, we are still under intense pressure for our species to evolve. In other words, we have to learn how to behave better as a species, or we will perish. It's that simple. So, in the meantime, we've also got this beautiful big fat kite here, which is very supportive of what's going on here, but it's indirect. What this kite is doing is actually providing a huge amount of stability and opportunity for evolution in the world of global finance. We're not going to deal with that really much here tonight unless Victor Galligan shows up. Sometimes he shows up because he likes to talk about money. Hello, Jody. Thanks for coming back. So, we've already talked about this many, many times on my Rumble channel. Tonight we have this kite here, okay? There's the tail of the kite, there's the head of the kite, there's the fierce opposition right down the middle, and there's the bar that holds it all together. Hello, Mr. Ross. Thank you, I understand. All we can do is hope and pray, because it's all about decision making. Do you want to evolve or not? A lot of people don't. The vast majority do not want to evolve, because it means you have to change, which means you have to think, which means you have to rationalize your existing behavior, put that through a filter, an AI filter, and learn what is it you are doing wrong that is scuttling your own life and your world around you. Whether you are somebody who washes dishes for a living, or whether you are a Brussels, global deep state elitist bureaucrat trying to control the world. You're still just a person being affected by the astrology here, whether you like it or know it or not. So make a decision. Of course, a lot of people operate on autopilot. They don't even know that they're evil. Sometimes people are very, very good, and they don't know that they're very, very good people. They're just operating on their natural default autopilot setting, which is benevolence. Perhaps they are compassionate, patient, loving, attentive, respectful, truthful, honest, caring, and so on and so on. But they may feel very fragile and pathetic and disregarded in modern life, because how many people actually respect all that stuff? Victor, yes, you did make it. I was just describing this kite here, okay, Victor? It's extremely supportive regarding the global financial system to change, to evolve. I've been doing an awful lot of homework and studying lately, and we are going through a war. This is the axis of war. It is a war between freedom and tyranny. Sound money versus fake money. Sovereignty of self, self-custody, being your own bank versus living under a tyrannical empire of central bank digital currencies, facial recognition IDs, and centrally controlled systems to keep you in a financial prison system. It's one or the other. China is fully operational, and I'm glad we're not in China, because it's literally a prison right now. The whole of China is a massive prison, because their economy is so bad that the Central Bank of China, under the Communist Party, is doing everything it can to shut down any flow of money, Chinese yuan of any kind, between the Chinese people themselves and their economy, if it does not meet the criteria that the Chinese Communist Party demands. Secondly, it's also working in such a way that it's basically obstructing any outflows of cash yuan, to get out of China and try and survive for the Chinese people. China has been bleeding out for several years now, and they're getting desperate. The Chinese Communist Party is getting desperate, so they're clamping down the handcuffs on the citizens of the corporations, the leaders, everybody in the whole country. So that's a war. And in Europe, operated by the World Economic Forum, the European Central Union, the European Central Bank, the World Economic Forum, the IMF, and the World Bank itself, they are all desperate because their legacy systems are falling apart. So they are trying to implement the same machinery that is used in China to create the digital prison, because Europe is falling apart. It's not like that in America. So it's a beautiful opportunity to change. In America, we have a lot more financial freedom, and there's a lot of momentum underway to head into the new system. Right now, you might not believe it, but a completely new infrastructure is being built live real time. The people who are building it are not asking for permission. They're doing it because they want freedom from tyranny. I belong to the freedom camp, but I live under the world of tyranny just like everybody else. Everybody in America still lives under the legacy system of tyrannical forces, but there are people, if you're very smart, you know what you're doing, you can work within that framework to your spectacular advantage. That's the beauty about the American financial system itself, is that it's heavily favored towards investors, developers, speculators, idea creation, building success and winning in terms of economy. It's just that sometimes they take it a little bit too far. Anyway, that's a whole other story. In the meantime, you can see this big fat cross here. We've had this quite a few times over the last few months, as everything is swooshing. All the personal planets like Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars are going over the cusp here of Scorpio to Sagittarius. It brings a lot of pressure on this axis. This axis has been hovering here for a long time. It's going to continue. Jupiter's retrograde right now. The moon is right on the cusp, so that's going to zoom away very quickly. But this one will still be here. So there's a lot of very warlike behavior in our species right now. This is financial warfare across the world, and this is more like state-to-state warfare. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm just finishing off a little cup of tea. So we still have retrogrades. We still have Neptune retrograde. Sorry about that. We still have Uranus retrograde. And we still have Jupiter retrograde. But guess what? I'm going to put this as an orange sign right here. This is going to affect the whole world at a very profound level. Neptune is going direct, okay? And it's in the crisis degree, so there's going to be a tremendous amount of turbulence in the world of crime, evil, deception, betrayal, lies, health and sickness, disease, that is being, and every aspect of human behavior that you could describe as evil, it's going to become much more apparent on the world stage. Over the last few months of Neptune retrograde, for example, over here and back for a few other pages, a lot of disclosure and revealing was happening that lifted the veil so we could see tremendous amounts of evil that existed on our planet that needs to heal and to evolve and change and become completely different. In other words, if you really, really want to evolve, you tune into the Pisces North Node and the healthy expression of Neptune and the accountability of Saturn, and you aim for compassion, patience, truth, honesty, love, unconditional love. Let's see, respect, all the really, really good, wholesome qualities of human behavior that really define us at our best. I'm not discounting things like competition and having fun and sports and doing things that are challenging. I think of that as fun, but all I'm saying is that as we slowly, next year, we're going to drift into this part here of the future. Okay? This is a 14-year journey as we go through a crippling, let's say, revealing phase of how we have managed to destroy ourselves over the last 184 years, over the last Neptune return. Okay? So Neptune was here 184 years ago, and here we are back again. So one of the most spectacular ways that we have destroyed ourselves as a species is by grotesque financial fraud, deception, lies, betrayal, and manipulation from a handful of elite people who crafted a very, very successful machine to defraud the people. And we're going to learn more and more about that, how it works and how to disassemble this thing and create the new one, a new financial system. In the meantime, Saturn is going to be going over here for about 3 years. And we're going to I'm hoping that we're going to see a lot more accountability for all the evil. Maybe on the world stage, maybe here in the American mainstream news, we'll start to see all these evil creatures from the swamp be forced into the headlight and forced into accountability, brought into Congress for testimony, and so on. So this is a 14-year journey. This is a 3-year journey. So you can combine these over here. The first 3 years are going to be brutal. Next, we have the 7-year journey over here. Okay, this is all about commerce and trade and artificial intelligence. It's going to be very chaotic. A lot of upheaval and surprises and shock in science and technology and advancements, and a new financial system for chaos, peer-to-peer money, sovereign wealth, peer-to-peer exchange, being your own bank, being your own banker, and so on. And of course, back to good old Pluto, the big, big journey here. This is the 20-year journey that's just begun. And this is for revolution, for we the people. to regain our freedom. Okay, so these are all going to play out. This is a very long-term projection. 20 years, 14 years, 7 years, 3 years. So brace yourselves. Anyway, going forward into the rest of November, we got a few speed bumps over here. Mercury goes to Sagittarius. That should be fun. Mars goes into Capricorn. Mars loves to be in Capricorn. It's very efficient. Venus goes into Capricorn. It's a very somber setting for Venus. And Neptune is going to be hovering at the crisis degrees. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So, and again, brace yourselves. We're doing the best we can. Jody, I am in a better frame. I did, oh, let me just check it with folks. Let's see. Yeah, we're here. Okay, so it's all working. I think it's all working. Bless this little thing. It's going to take me a long time to integrate the new computer. By the way, for those of you who donated, I'm going to do a little bit of showing off. Let me do it right now. Why not? Stay there. All right. So there's not really much to see. It's just a black laptop, okay? This is it. It's absolutely gorgeous in terms of my opinion. There it is. I'll just open it for fun. It's not a full-blown gaming laptop, but it's very powerful, okay? It has really good graphics, not full-blown gaming graphics. And the reason I got it is because I did a lot of hunting with support from everybody and suggestions, and I got this one at a really good price, and this is the reason I got it. This actually is an Intel Core i7 13th generation chip. It has 10 cores. Okay, it's like it's like having 10 chips inside. Half of them are for speed and power, and half of them are for, let's say, management. Now, this will give me a lot more stability in terms of doing our shows here. Because it's like, you know, right now, my setup here right now, it's like it's an old Intel. It's an i7, but it's the first generation. It's got 2 cores. So it's like, do you remember those little French cars, the little Citroën de Chevaux? They had 2 cylinders, but they were fantastic. Rams? Oh, I don't know, Victor. Sorry, I don't care about Rams. I just want the speed. I just need a really big freaking motor. So I got a really, really good. Yeah, it's SSD. It's really, really sweet. It's got one, again, it's got one huge, massive fan here, and it's got a huge grill over here. And I've got an extra fan for cooling it as well. Now, if this was actually an i7 14th generation, it would have 20 cores. I just couldn't afford it. It was beyond me. It's what they use in really top-end gaming machines. But anyway, this is a beautiful machine. I just want to thank everybody. So it's got this big fan. It's very, very efficient. It's got monster ducting all over here, and a lot of ducting over here, and a lot of ducting over here, because that's one of the biggest problems I have, is keeping the computer cool. It's very, very hard to do. And the way I work and the way I do these shows, it's very demanding on a computer. I'm surprised my little computer even copes at all. But anyway, we did it. And it's going to take a long time for me to get set up, because I have to rebuild everything from scratch. I'm very grateful. It's very rare I do anything like this, because it's a very big purchase for me, and it has to last. And I'm over many years, I've learned how to do a lot of my own maintenance because there are certain things you can't do. Like right now, if you could see inside my studio, the whole computer is buckled from heat. It's all bent and warped, and bits and pieces are sticking out of the side because they're melting. But it still works. Huh? Oh, sorry. This is called an Asus VivoBook. There's lots of different variations. You have to be very, very thorough when you do your research on these things. I really, really I was aiming for the Intel i7 14th generation. It's just beyond the budget. And so I scaled down incrementally till it got in the budget, and I got myself the i7 13th generation, which is a 13550U chip, which is still very powerful, way more powerful than what I have now. And they do use them in full-blown gaming machines. It's just not the ultimate. There's another one called the Intel i9, but frankly, it's not as good as the top-end i7s. Uh-oh, little Bubba. What do you want, Bubba? You've been all snoozy. So anyway, it's pretty awesome. It's going to take me a long time to get settled in, so don't expect any miracles in the near future. Things will... Anyway, we'll get on with it. Come up here. Come on, Bubba. Say hi to everybody. Oh, it's all right. I got you. Bubba. Bubba and me had a lot of adventures today. Thank you, Ivona. It's been really, really kind of a tough journey. But look, here's little Bubba. Bubba has had a lot of adventures all day since early this morning. I got him out in the yard, got him into some sunshine, exploring, chasing pigeons, sunbathing. He's found a new place to do sunbathing in the yard. And then I tried to get him as tired as possible, and so I took him out on adventures in the front yard. He loved that, and he bumped into the neighbor cat, Hercules. Now, Hercules is a big, big cat. He's black and white, but he's not a tuxedo like Bubba. As you know, Bubba is stunningly handsome, and he's been living off his looks his whole life, and he does have Egyptian royalty in his ancestry, in his DNA. And it's very rare he tolerates or looks at other cats. He doesn't really like other cats. But they almost head-butted today, face-to-face, little Hercules with little Bubba. And Bubba was very gracious. I picked him up and removed him away because I can't afford to have Bubba in a scrap with Hercules, because Hercules would just wipe out little Bubba. As awesome as little Bubba is, Hercules is just a young lad, and Bubba is a senior. So anyway, here's little Bubba. He's feeling all goofy and dopey because I really tired him out. Got him some nice food. I'm learning about the warming of the different treats to get him better. He still loves kibble, so I'm getting him really fancy little bits of kibble. I bought a big bag the other day. He doesn't like it, and PetSmart said I could return it, which is fantastic. Anyway, okay. Oh, I just wanted to announce something. Some of you know I have a little channel over on Rumble where I talk a lot about the astrology in more... I talk about it in ways that are a lot more comfortable. I don't have to censor myself so much. So I can't really do it here. Because my channel, as you know, on YouTube is pretty much shadow banned. We're still here, but it's not really functional as a proper channel. Anyway, I got a reply post from somebody on my X, where I always post my Rumble shows, and they took a screenshot of some of the charts that I made in my show last night, where I was trying to illustrate the journey of Pluto through the history of America and so on. And I don't know how they did it, but they took a screenshot, put it on X, and they had these little green markers and circles, and they inserted the different astrology signs and all sorts of cool things. And it made me realize, God, there's people out there watching who have a pretty serious understanding of astrology. So I was very impressed, and I wrote back and said, I thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. It looks like you're watching and enjoying the show, and thanks for the enhancements. So that's what happened. I'd never really seen that before. Okay, so anyway, let's get on. Let's do some... hold on, Bubba. What do you want to do? Okay, I got to get ready for the readings. Okay, here you go. Oh. I'll get you set up in a minute, but I got to prep for readings, okay? Oh, dear. So I'll check in a little minute to see if anybody wants a reading. If not, we'll just hang out and just have a little bit of fun and then move on. Sometimes we're getting random folks these days who, I don't know who they are or where they come from, and it doesn't matter. So if they want a reading, great. I'm going to put this, give me a second over here. Let's have a look. So, okay, over here. So I'm going to keep this as reference when we do the readings, okay? Let me just check, see what's going on here. Doing a little bit of housekeeping in the background here. Trying to find out what's going on. I'm going to get one of these decks here. Let me just check something. All right. Okay. Nothing much going on here. All right. I'm just going to... Well, let's just hang out for a while. I don't have any bookings, so we'll just hang out. I got some water. Let's put that aside for the moment. Let me just check on the comments there. I have to catch up a little bit here. Oh gosh, there's a lot. Oh, I'm trying to read. Sorry, I didn't know there was so much chat. Hold on. Yes, I'm in a better frame of mind. I've had a lot of clarity. I was doing a lot of yard work, and that tends to ground me and stabilize me. Okay, let's have a look here. Oh, sorry, I get... yeah, let's say... All right, well, I guess Victor's departed because I'm not really talking about the money stuff anywhere. But okay, all right. So looks what I got some notes here from Necessary. Let me just check that here. Okay, it says TL book, but need you to focus on question, not a blind reading. Okay. All right, I can do that. I've done that before. Where is my post-it note pile? All right, here we go. Alicia Harris, hello, Alicia Harris. Good evening and welcome, Alicia Harris. Welcome to TarotLumination, Sunday Night Live mini readings by donation. The Donation Nation, and I'll show you. I'm going to grab Alicia right now while I can, while I'm getting prepped here. So Alicia, I've been doing this a long time, but again, it's a tiny channel. It's just a few people. We just hang out together. Almost everyone here who shows up seems to be like a psychic or a reader or a healer or an astrologer of some kind, remote energy healer, practitioner, a loving, caring person of some kind, psychics, all of the above, okay? So, Alicia, this is what they do. If people want readings, they go to TarotLumination.com on your phone or tablet or something, scroll down to the donate, press the button, and it's like online shopping. And then you put a nice big fat donation in, and you get a live mini reading. All in public. And everybody will see what your reading is and hear the story as it comes out. So you have to be very brave, but it's fun. Yeah. Yeah. So that was just an explanation. I thought I'd make that, you know, give you an idea how it works. What's this? Oh, okay. We're getting cat food recipes. Is this for cats or people? Oh. I guess it's cats. It's a little bit. Because we were talking, Alicia, you just arrived, but before you arrived, we were hanging out with little Bubba. Bubba is getting thirsty. He's just had a bunch of snacks and nibbles. Come on. I'll get you a glass of water. Come on. Oh boy, oh boy. Let me top it up, Bubba, and then you can have a proper... There you go. There you go. Little Bubba. He really likes to make himself at home. Alright, let's have a look. So, what's this recipe? Basically, it's meat of choice and some veggies, sweet potato, broccoli, zucchini, oatmeal, eggs, mixed together and baked in a thin layer. Okay. Then I cut it up and dry it in the oven at low temperatures for an hour until dry. What's this, like homemade kibble or something? Oh. I've created a monster with Bubba because he used to live for many years on one type of kibble and one brand of wet food, shredded stuff with gravy. A dollop in the morning, a dollop in the evening, and 24/7 kibble. That was it. And then I came along and I screwed it all up and I spoiled him with all sorts of weird alternatives. And now he's turned into the most picky monster on earth. Right, Bubba? You feel better now? Come on, you want to go down? Come on. Go and hang out. Ugh. Okay, doke. And it's all my fault. That's all my fault. But I can't undo it. What I've discovered is that he loves certain types of gravy. He's a gravy licker, a gravy lover, but not all the time. Sometimes he'll just turn up his nose and go, no, not right now, thank you. And there's nothing you can do. This is not a cat channel, by the way. It's just that Bubba has, what's the word? Bubba has a spirit that has become very much entwined with what we do here, okay? What? Your cats love raw asparagus and cucumber. Okay. Sounds like vegetarian cats. I've never heard of such a thing, but you never know. Oh, one thing, little Bubba, he likes to lick Smith's, Ralph's, Kroger's plain crinkle salted potato chips. He loves that. And sometimes I crunch them all. I take a couple of chips, crunch them up to very, very tiny little crumbs, and he licks that up like kibble. That's the nearest thing to being a vegetarian. All right, now I'm going to go over here. Give me a second. I'm going to go visit the, do my homework back here to find out what is going on with necessaries reading. Something like that over here. Go over here. Sorry, I'm just clicking around. No, I don't see anything. Maybe it is just slow. Unstable, I don't know. No, I don't have any notes, so... All right. All right, well, let's just hang out a bit. Let's just hang out a little bit, okay? Because I don't have your notes here yet, necessary. Just send the notes by email, you know, if that's what you want to do. Oh, by the way, again, for Alicia, again, if you're interested to see how this all works, where did I put Alicia? Hold on, give me a second. Alicia. Okay, so Alicia. Also at TarotLumination.com, you can scroll down and it shows how you can reach out to me directly, because I do personal astrology as well, all right? I do the global astrology over on Rumble, TarotLumination on Rumble, and I do personal astrology in private readings, and I do tarot readings in private as well. This is just Sunday night for fun stuff, and it helps to keep the juices flowing and make people aware that I offer the services at all. It's nothing like the glory days, you know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, where we had a very, very busy crowd with thousands of views. Now I'm lucky to get 10. But anyway. So, yeah. So, Alicia, in case you're interested, there you go. I thought I'd mention that. And for anyone else out there who's watching but not signed in or not writing into the chat, that's how it works. Go to TarotLumination.com, scroll down to the button, click it, and it's online shopping, throw the donation, and it comes here, and then you get your mini reading. All right. Right, in the meantime, while everyone's chatting amongst themselves, I can be proactive. Put this over here. I can be proactive and I can get the deck ready. Yeah, PayPal, and maybe it's getting really slow because, you know, it's holiday season, it's Sunday night. A lot of people are probably hanging around with their internet on Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu and all their sports casting stuff and gamers. Worldwide Global Gamers United type of thing. Yeah, send a text. That'll be all right. We'll figure it out one way or another. Don't worry, necessary. I'm just going to shuffle up. Darla. You've got Darla. Darla loves to eat grass. Well, actually, you know what? Bubba, you see, where I live, there's no such thing as grass. I live in a desert. The things that are green are oleander trees, palm trees, and desert bushes, and they're all placed by humans with artificial watering, because there's no water here, there's no natural water, there's no natural grass, the soil is basically dead, so you can't get grass. Oh, solar. Oh, you're right. Yep. Okay. I heard about that earlier. My friend Love Triber was telling me that there was some pretty big flares. See, the thing is, you can have a really big flare, but it's not such a big deal unless it's pointing directly at Earth. And then it takes a few days to get here because it's got to go for millions of miles. Many millions of miles. Yeah, just think of the internet as like a massive electronic highway, and sometimes it gets very, very crowded, and it makes it difficult for all the traffic to move at full speed. Like if I was doing shows at 4 o'clock in the morning over here, everything would go at super rocket speed. But we're kind of operating at prime time. Oops, I don't do jumpers and flyers. I don't do reversals or anything like that. I just have one. For the little live shows like this, I just use my situational spread, which is a very, very let's see, effective little tool for diagnostics. Just like the little black box when you go to your auto technician and they plug it in onto your dashboard to figure out what the hell is wrong with your car. All right, I'm just going to set things aside here for a second while I do some more homework behind the scenes. Let's have a look, see what I can find out over here. Oh, hey, Bubba, let me get you set up. I'll get you all cozy. Give me a second, folks. Just taking care of little Bubba there. Oh, boy. All right. Okay, I got something coming in here live. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I'm very lucky. Let's have a look. Okay. Okay, stay with me, folks. All right, let's have a look. Okay, all right, here we go. Brace yourselves, everybody. We have a booking. And the subject is advice on topic X, Y, Z. All right. Easy peasy. Here you are. There you go. All right, so let's shuffle up. We're already in pretty good condition. I just want to do a last minute shuffle so that we're good. Hey, maybe, by the way, I saw that Gregory's here. Maybe later on, Gregory, you can give me an update how things are going. Because you've been going through a lot of stuff lately. And I know it's, I don't know what the word is, turbulent, disturbing, upsetting. It's just these things in life we have to deal with. Everybody runs into speed bumps in life somewhere, somehow. And you just have to deal with them. It's best to just deal with them face on for exactly what they are. Nothing more, nothing less. And sometimes the worst thing we can do is fight them. Sometimes the best thing to do is just, like, there's a place I go locally. The speed bumps are literally so bad that you have to slow down to almost just a serious slow crawl. Otherwise, your car just bangs around. So you have to be very careful with the speed bumps in life. You can't just drive over them because you can actually destroy your car in the process. All right, necessary. Yes, you mentioned I got support. Yes, I've got my invisible friends. They're here. They know I'm a little bit flustered. They know I've had a bumpy ride lately. But, you know, they're there anyway. And it's the same for everyone else out there. Well, you know, when you said there PayPal is as slow as, yeah, Oh, Victor, you're still here. I thought you would have disappeared long ago. I stopped talking about the money. Thanks for hanging out, Victor. And you're welcome to visit me on Rumble, because I do the same thing here on Rumble during the week. And I talk about money and astrology, especially money. As little as I know about it in real life, I have a very strong interest anyway, and I do what I can to learn and share. Okay? All right, Necessary, here we go. What kind of messages do we have for you, Necessary? regarding advice on XYZ. So we know what that is. It's private. Let's see what gets depicted here. So some of you know my deck, my spread very, very well. But we're going to do it live in case Alicia's still here or if anyone else is watching and they're tempted to get a reading. Here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things going forward. This is like a diagnostics, okay? And over here, this is what I call external influences. I almost always default to the planets, but I can get all sorts of inspirational messages. You never know. All right, here we are. 3 of Cups. So, my feeling is that I'm not suggesting that this is a win-win-win situation. What I'm sensing from this is that it's very, very important for you to maintain your optimism and high levels of expectation of a positive outcome for yourself, which would in turn have, let's say, secondary beneficial outcomes for other people. Like a chain reaction type of effect. But also it makes me also feel that things are very, let's say, tenuous, kind of fragile and volatile at the same time. So what I'm sensing here is that it's very important that you do what I learned about with reading books about hardcore sales and marketing and stuff. You assume the win. You go in believing that the outcome is already determined and it is favorable for you, which is going to put you in a position to enjoy or celebrate later on. I'm not saying it's going to be a guaranteed win, but what I'm suggesting is that with the 3 of Cups, it's very important that you tap into all of this beautiful green stuff. If it involves money, tap into the green stuff. Forget about the fear and crisis and stress and anxiety. If it's about other things in life, tap into the green stuff here. Forget about the other stuff, because there's plenty of tension to go round, way more than we need, and it's there. So the important thing is to not get sucked into the vortex of fear, uncertainty, and whatever can possibly go wrong. Instead, this is all about very simple sense of contentment and like a humble knowing, loving, and awareness that you're in a good spot, no matter what. Sorry, I can't help. I've got one of the monitors over here so I can see it better. Melissa in New Zealand. Oh my God. Okay, Melissa, we have to catch up a bit later because I have a love affair with New Zealand. I've been there 3 times now. Okay, so let's have a look. What's the situation itself with XYZ? Okay, so it looks like this has been a long time coming. Either maybe it's been building up very, very slowly in the background and all of a sudden it's culminating here. And it's bringing with it a lot of baggage in one form or another. Psychic, spiritual, financial, corporate, business, legal stuff. Let's say mistakes you might have made in the past, mistakes other people might have made in the past, all leading to a point where you're at this moment of XYZ, okay? But again, you can handle it because you do have the awareness that this is just part of your life journey. It's not like you've been destroyed or anything. You're looking around and realizing, wow, well, this is it. So that's why we are dealing with XYZ right now. It's because, well, guess what? A lot of life pans out on a ticking clock. We become especially aware of it with energies of Saturn. Okay, Saturn just flipped direct, and Saturn is demanding accountability for anything that's wrong or nefarious or unjust. Okay, and so since whatever this is, if it's about bringing justice and bringing fairness and equity and balance to something that is out of balance, that's been building up for some time, then let's lean on the good side of Saturn. And that Saturn is very, very interested in bringing a good, solid reality check, based on facts, based on reality, not on fear, confusion, distraction, delusion. Okay, none of that stuff. All right, have a look. Let's have a look. What are the problems here? What are the challenges here? So you've got the Seven of Swords. Okay, so necessary regarding XYZ situation. You're probably already aware that there's some deception, theft, chicanery, manipulation, very dodgy behavior going on in the background by somebody somewhere. Maybe it's a singular person, a singular entity, a group of people where they are effectively doing what they can to get away with whatever they can, either by being very smiley into your face and trying to sneak through and get through all of their stuff without you being aware, and then just hoping that your situation falls apart and you fail. So there is that potential, because you wouldn't be in the situation unless there was some sort of adversarial situation here. Now, with the Seven of Swords, what I'm also sensing is that since you are acutely aware of this, there's no reason to be blindsided. You're not going to be blindsided. It's just that you need to be aware that at every ticking second of the situation, tick tock, it's a time-based thing. It's Saturn-based. Okay, challenges here. There's going to be, like, as time progresses through XYZ, there's going to be moments of pressure where it may be obvious, more obvious than normal, that something a little bit shady is going on and has been going on, and somebody intends for that to continue and hope that you don't notice. Let's see, how do we proceed from here? Because what I'm seeing is a lot of clarity for you, very, very straightforward clarity for you. Like, you know a lot about what's going on already. You're perfectly aware of the skid marks, the speed bumps, the hazards, the orange cones of the situation, perhaps betrayal, deception, lies, manipulation, theft of some kind. And you're perfectly aware of that. But so long as you maintain optimism and assume the win, because you are aware, you can have a good chance of a favorable outcome. But we need to find out more over here, okay? Okay. So we got the Death card here. What I love to see about this is transformational energy healing. Now, of course, a lot of people are scared of this card, but in my senses right now, this is very benevolent for you. In other words, so long as you maintain your decorum, your serenity, your belief in ultimate justice and goodness and truth and reality and so on, then the way to proceed is just to simply allow reality to unfold real time, tick, 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 tock, tick, tock, as you go through the XYZ experience and come out the other side. Because my sensation here is that whatever adversarial situation is happening, it's probably with other people rather than you and your own. If other people, and if it's conflict, and you're fully aware of the situation, it could be a transformational experience for both parties. In other words, let's say things prevail in your favor, and you can just calmly walk away and go, ah, that felt good. And just simply allow this massive transformational experience here to occur on its own, almost as though you don't really have to do much of anything, okay? So, again, tuning into the benevolent aspects of the astrology, which are very, very powerful. That's this big fat kite here, especially regarding finance, and this big fat trine sextile combo here regarding extreme pressure to evolve and make the right decisions, which is basically what determines good, healthy evolution. And of course, some people don't like to do that. So with transformation here, transformational energy healing, you could get tremendous relief as an outcome. Tremendous relief, so long as you are, let's say, trust the process, believe in yourself, assume the win, knowing that it's a very adversarial situation, but you assume the win anyway. In other words, imagine that you are a car salesperson, and it's a very, very tough market right now, and you've got a very, very picky, very clever, smart customer buyer who's trying to hoodwink you, and you've got to stay on top of it to close the deal, okay? It's that kind of situation that I'm sensing. And so you do that because you have expertise, and you already know that you know how this is your world. You can handle it. It's not a problem. It's just that it can feel very scary, okay? So long as you can just literally maintain your decorum, your like a sense of just simple, pure balance. I don't know how to express it. Hold on, give me a second here. That's basically your reading. But what I'm sensing is that you're in a state of serene, I wouldn't say confidence, let's say assurance. By entering XYZ, assuming the win, assuming a state of divine assurance, all you have to do is participate, witness, observe the outcome, and deal with the outcome, whatever that may be, as a profound moment, and then you just simply bless the situation and move on. I'm sensing even though it might be very challenging, I'm also sensing a lot of calm. But that has to be something that you would create from within yourself, which you know you can do, okay? What's that? Oh, Robin's here. Hi, everyone. Hello, Robin. Oh, it's been 2 years. Okay. Yes, Jody. The power of positive thinking. There you go. Thank you very much. So, necessary, I hope that helped. I hope you got something out of that. I'm going to shuffle up here. And I'm going to check out, see if anyone else has booked a reading. Give me a second here. I just need a little bit of... I just need a moment. Okay. Hold on. shuffled up. Okay, so yeah, if anyone is interested, I saw a couple of newbies there. Hi, Robin. I hope you're doing okay. What was that? There was somebody from New Zealand. Where is that New Zealand person? Oh. There was somebody. There's Melissa. Melissa, can I get a reading, please? Yeah, sure. Kia ora, Melissa. I haven't been to New Zealand for a long time, but man, I really miss it. I really, really miss it. So, Melissa, where are you still here, Melissa? Are you still here at the show? Oh, look, someone's got a question for me. Hold on. Let me check in. Hey, Melissa. Sorry, I'm getting all tingly about New Zealand. I have friends mostly in the North Island. I have friends in Hamilton. And that was sort of my base camp. And I traveled a lot in the north and so on. I really enjoy Raglan. I love having fish and chips at Raglan on the west coast, up north. And I like going up into the really balmy, beautiful areas of the Bay of Islands in that area. I like going into the Waikato, up by the Coromandel. I love Little Thames. I like the village of Thames. I'd love to go to Whitianga. I miss all that stuff. I miss it so much. Yeah. I love all the green, the luscious green, the mountains, the rivers, the streams, and the beautiful air. And you're never more than, an hour and a half from the ocean, wherever you live. So to me, that's just beautiful. I'm still here. Come back to New Zealand. You're in Auckland, West Coast. Yay, okay. Okay, Melissa, you're my new buddy. You and me, we're now friends, okay? It's official. There's no escape, okay? So I want you to write to me. Go to the TarotLumination.com and get in touch. Go to my contact thing over there, and we'll get things organized, okay? Hello, Robin. I know, apparently you were having a really rough time a while back, weren't you? And you had a birthday and so on. Yeah. Actually, Auckland is a very beautiful city in its own way. I love the way some of the highways kind of swirl around the bay and the ocean over there. And I love being close to all the boats. I used to be a sailor when I was a little kid. I did a lot of sailing. My sister is a sailor, retired now. They sold their boat. They had a 60-foot yacht, sailing yacht, and she went all over the Atlantic, everywhere, all into the Caribbean, all the way down France and Spain and West Africa, and up the American West Coast, and up across the Atlantic, up to Scotland and the Baltics and Norway and everything like that. So that's her territory, but that's kind of retired now. You live what? Oh my God. Oh no, it's not fair. It's not fair. 3 minutes from the beach. I used to live 5 minutes from the beach when I lived in Los Angeles. I'm a kind of retired movie, TV employee. And I spent about 20 years in Los Angeles working on TV and movies. And I lived right by the beach. I would frequently go for a walk in the morning or noon or night or whenever. Go get a beer or a cup of coffee on the beach and just hang out. I don't know if I'll ever do it again. Okay, I'll figure that out. Okay. Oh yeah, the campfire days. You know, when in the very early days of TarotLumination, when we were growing thousands of views per show and 1,000 new subscribers every month, and I was actually earning my living from TarotLumination. Can you believe that? Doing astrology and tarot readings. That was my living. That's how I afforded to go to New Zealand. Of course, that's all over now. But yeah, I would constantly go on about if you could picture yourself at a retreat. And in my heart and soul, my retreat was based in New Zealand. And there would be, you know, somewhere up near Matarangi or Whitianga or somewhere like that. We'd have a beautiful waterfront property, just the bushes and the grass. I don't need a house. It'll just be a bunch of tents, and all of us would show up, and I'd make so much money that every month I would commute every 3 months, and we would have lucky draws, and somebody would win a free ticket to come to New Zealand and back and hang out with me at the campfire. We'd do live readings, and it never happened. But I tried. Yeah, everybody playing guitar, singing songs, TarotLumination songs, chanting, doing our bizarre healing yoga, and all that good stuff. Okay. Yes. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Maybe it will one day. Maybe it will. Maybe I'll have some sort of massive crypto windfall. Or maybe YouTube will unshadow ban me, and who knows? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I have some good friends there. I don't really talk to them much because it just makes me really sentimental, and I don't want to wear out my friendships, and I don't want to just indulge in conversation just because I miss them all so much. It's quite a variety of folks I have over there. Some of them were really into the stock car racing. You New Zealanders, you love to get your old cars and soup them all up with, you know, boosted engines, boosted motors, and run races around the dirt tracks. I love that stuff. I love it. I just love that stuff. I don't need the fancy cars with, you know, 600 horsepower zooming around. I like the dirt tracks. It's spectacular. I like going right up to the front, well, just a little bit back, maybe 3 or 4 people back in the row, so you don't get splattered with too much mud or rocks or pebbles, and hopefully you don't get a car crash right in your face. I did a lot of day trips and road trips in New Zealand with my friends. Wonderful. Just had such a wonderful time. To me, it's just heaven on earth. I know you've got your problems over there. It's a little bit of a... You've got the influence of, you know, the British Empire and all of that stuff. And you've had a surge in migration. And, you know, there's political upheaval. And there's all sorts of issues, you know, politics. I don't want to get into it here. It'll spook people. Yeah. On one of my trips, sometimes I would rent a car. Sometimes on one of my visits, I bought a car. I bought a Honda Odyssey minivan. I got it super cheap deal, and it was perfect because I could load it up with food and snacks and sleeping bags and things like that, and swimming gear and hiking gear, all that good stuff for a good road trip. And I put a lot of miles on it, and it already had probably at least 250,000 miles on it already. But I kept it going because I'm good with old cars, but eventually the transmission got a little bit dodgy. And anyway, I had to go back. I had to get back to the United States because I'm not married and I don't have any kids. And but I had to get back because of, you know, I'm an American citizen, and I wanted to abide by the law. I didn't want to overstay my visa. And so I went back, and a couple months later, my friends told me my minivan had been totaled because I was parking it over at their house, and they were looking after it for me, and some local vandals came along and busted open all the windows and just trashed it for fun. And then there was a big monsoon storm, and the whole car flooded and filled up with water and rain, basically destroyed the car. And so I told my friends, well, that's it. Just call up the insurance company, because I still had insurance on it, and just tell them the car got trashed, and cash the insurance and take that insurance money, and you can blow it on your own European vacation. So that's what we did. Oh, you're kind, friendly people. Oh my God. And the food. Oh my God. I had a very favorite little place. It was called a Hop and Stop Cafe. It was just south of Huntly, New Zealand. And I just loved it because the food. One of the things I love about New Zealand is that it captures a lot of the things that used to define America in the first 125 years of American history. Everything was about Mercury and Cancer, peer-to-peer economies, small family farms, millions of small family farms all over America, bartering and trading, with cows, sheep, turkey, pigs, food, ducks, whatever you might want, and then grains, corn, and wheat, and so on, and then lots of produce. And that was in the early days of America, before Pluto in Capricorn went berserk and started to assert itself and turn the United States into an oligopoly of these monstrous corporate machines. Would destroy the American spirit. But the beauty is New Zealand still has that. Wherever you go in New Zealand, you will always find artisanal food, artisanal coffee, artisanal beers, artisanal crafts and art of all kinds, artisanal home designs. And it's just beautiful. I love that stuff. In other words, yeah, you got fast food and you got supermarkets, but it's just wonderful to go somewhere like somewhere really tiny, and then you discover an absolute gem for home brewed coffee and some kind of custom made toasted grilled sandwich or something with something in it, or homemade cakes and pasties and pies, everything you could imagine. The food is just fantastic. I love New Zealand food. You've been to that cafe? Oh my God. Hop and Stop Cafe. It's surprising anybody knows about it, but it's there. Yeah, I love that little place. Oh my God. I used to do a lot of shows from there. I would drive down there and park up, and people would look at me like, who is that weird guy sitting there with his computer for hours, talking into the computer? What's he doing? Yeah. Oh, that little Honda minivan, it served me well. Thank you very much for consideration. Somebody asked me earlier, am I spiritual or religious? Well, it's a little bit of both. I was born and raised. I'm basically a white European style, second generation American. My mom and dad are second generation, so I'm third generation. German and French. They're both Roman Catholic. Farming families. My father was very, very poor. My mother had a little bit better going on, but both came from farming, and then they grew up in an era in America where they wanted to escape the farm and, go on an airplane and get a car and things like that and have a job that's not in a farm. So I grew up with a lot of Roman Catholicism, not really indoctrination. It's just that That's how things were. So I went to church a lot and did my catechism. And I liked it because of the stability, and I loved the songs and the singing and the music. But otherwise, I didn't really dig it too much because there were certain very, very disturbing, creepy things that went on that made me kind of go, And so from there, I guess I migrated more towards a spiritual type. I believe in a higher being. I have a personal, what I consider a very deep personal friendship with a fellow called Jesus. I know I sound insane, but it's true. That's a whole other story. Anyway, I do the astrology and the tarot readings, which are sort of, esoteric, out there from the great beyond type of stuff. I've been doing it a long time. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. Where is it? Yeah, I've been to that cafe, and when we have the best rugby team in the world, the All Blacks. Oh my God! Oh yeah. New Zealand is obsessed with rugby and cricket. Very, very British. It's a very British thing. So I know you all play your sports games with England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, South Africa, Canada, Australia. Those where all you guys do your rugby tackles. And I have a dear friend from Australia. He is a retired rugby coach for the Australian team. And my mate's name was Johnny. And I said, let me see if I can do this. Soccer is a gentleman's game played by hooligans, and rugby is, no, I got it wrong. Rugby is a something played by gentlemen. In other words, it might look very brutal, and it is a very savage sport, but in general, the players are gentlemen. And I got it wrong. I got it completely wrong. If you know what it is, Melissa, please type it in. It's a particular expression. Rugby is blah, 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 played by gentlemen, and soccer is played by savages. Something like that. In order to differentiate that rugby is a superior sport to soccer. Okay? Very simple. Superior. Yeah. You like it when I read the charts? Yes, I do. I already did a little bit of an overview on the charts at the start of the show when people were starting to show up. I'm not really much of a sports guy. The kind of sports that I do or did was long ago. I was into rowing. That's what I used to do. I was very, very good at that. And I could have changed my life if I wanted to play along with some of those people who, some of them were not very nice. And I used to like sailing and rowing. I also like water skiing and diving and motorcycles. That was it. I can't, anything with a ball, forget it. It's just wasting my time. And cricket, soccer, rugby, tennis, basketball, baseball, all of those, it's just, it doesn't mean anything to me. So what was it about the charts, Robin? I don't get it. Hold on. I can't really do too much deeper tonight. I was just doing a very light overview. But I will show, let me see if I can show this to you. Somebody on my X, let me see if I can do this. I did this the other night. This really kind of really caught my attention. I don't know if it's going to be here, if I can find it or not. I'm going to try. Give me a second. I'm doing some homework here. housekeeping to try and get set up. Yeah, it's here. Look at this. So if anyone was there at my show, what was that? What's today? Sunday. Yeah, I did a show last night on Saturday, and I was doing all my stuff that I talk about, the charts and, you know, global finance, the global wars, all the politics and Trump and everything like that. And in one of these sections of the video, I put up content that looked like this from like last night, okay? So I had my astrodoodle, and at the same time I was presenting, I lost it, sorry. So I presented a chart like this, but if you can see it, I don't know if you can see it, somebody called Chanta wrote back and said, hey, he put all these extra markings on the chart using some kind of highlighter, digital highlighter. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but that says Pluto in Taurus, Pluto in Gemini, Pluto in Cancer, Pluto in Aquarius. And then he did the same thing with the other chart. He used a digital marker. So he was trying to point out a couple of things. Anyway, I thought that was very, very cool. I felt really important and amazing. What's that? Oh, that's the only story, Yeshua. Well, I happen to like when you read the charts. That is the only story, Yeshua. Rumble is where you need to go for that, Robin. Okay, so Melissa, how do I write? Oh, Melissa, look. Melissa, really simple. Go back to TarotLumination.com. It's my website. It's very, very simple. Scroll down and you'll get my email, okay? That's all you have to do. Sure, pictures, all of it, anything. Go for it. I love it. So anyway, we had a similar chart last night, and that fellow, that person, whoever that is, put these digital highlighters all over the place, emphasizing things and amplifying the subjects that we'd already been discussing. I was really impressed, and I wrote back and I said, thank you very much. It makes me feel like someone's actually watching my show, and they dig the astrology. So that felt very rewarding. Yeah, go for it, Melissa. Sure. It'll be a pleasure. All right. Let me just do a couple of checkups here. I wanted to check something in the background. I'm doing a little bit of housekeeping, so it looks like I'm reading the chat and so on. No, over there. Let me go over here. Oh God, everything's frozen. Everything's seizing up over here. What is the matter? No. Stay there. Calm down. Oh God. No. Oh boy. Oh boy. I better stop. Give me a second. Sorry, I got stuck in a loop and everything's moving very, very slowly. I have to track this through, otherwise I'll lose it. Please bear with me. Chat amongst yourselves. Okay, I'll have to get back to that. I'm sorry. Let's go over here now. All right. Sorry, just trying to bring... Yeah, it's really easy. You'll see it there. Okay, Melissa? You'll be fine. So yeah, Robin, by the way, everyone who's here, Robin is also a tarot reader / astrologer type, psychic type, along with Necessary, and pretty much everyone here in some form or another, no matter what your day job might be. Okay, so we might as well celebrate and enjoy each other at the little vibrational frequencies at which we all operate. It may be a small crowd, a small show, but we do seem to enjoy each other's company. And I love doing this. I wish I could do it more effectively, more successfully, and then I could, amplify and then offer stuff in return the way I used to do in the old days. But I don't know. It seems like it's dead and gone forever. So I got to stop grumbling and stop moaning. All right, let me go over here a second. All right, so it's getting pretty late back on the East Coast, so I think I might as well just wrap it up. I don't have a lot of other bookings. I don't see any other bookings. So, well, we got one off there for Necessary Truth regarding XYZ, and we can follow up from there. So, I think I'm just going to wrap it up and say good night. Take care of little Bubba, get an early night over here, and maybe if you want to, come and visit me during the week. I am a lot more, let's say, comfortable on my other channel on Rumble, TarotLumination on Rumble. I can speak freely and openly because they pride themselves on being free speech friendly. And I post those videos every night on my X as well, in case you don't like Rumble. You can go see them on X. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for the donations and help with getting all the computers sorted out. Just be very, very patient because it's a long process for me to rebuild. Okie dokes. Good night, everybody. Blessings. Look after yourselves. If you need anything, you can get in touch, all right? You know how to do that, TarotLumination.com. Just scroll down. Okie doke. Bye-bye.